tail down, then you can have the inflow view. And in the inflow view, you can, observe how the tricuspid valve look like. So by tilting the tail up, you will have the outflow view in which you can see the pulmonary valve. So through the parasternal long axis, not only you can visualize these structures, and by modifying the view, you can see the other structures as well. So how, when you just put the probe and you make the image, how it looks like. So when you keep the probe in the first time, for you make the past and long axis, it looks like that. And you all know what the structures are. If you know the what are the normal structure, then you can later identify the abnormal finding very easily. So this is the left atrium, this is the mitral valve, LV, this is the aorta, interventricular septum, and RV, and how the image looks like in the echocardic view. When you make the inflow view, the tricuspid valve looks like this, and here when you put the color, you can, just look at the tricuspid regurgitation. And when you move towards the outflow view, you can see this is the pulmonary valve, and you can see appreciate different abnormalities. Now the another view is the pastoral short axis view. These both views are very important for all of you who are doing the POCUS and who are doing the epicardial echo as well. So for our, the fellow who is recently joined. So this is the pastoral long axis. From here, you can just, turn the probe position towards the left shoulder. And when you turn the probe position towards the left shoulder, you will see the images like that. But, um, important thing at this level, when you make the short pastoral short axis, you have to get three levels, in the pastoral short axis. When you tilt the probe, uh, uh, when you tilt the probe towards the apex, then this is the papillary muscle level, this is the LV, and above you have the RV. And then you keep the probe position changing, and then you have the basal level in which you can appreciate the mitral valve, and then this is the aortic level view. And in the aortic level view, the aorta is the center, and on the right side, the tricuspid valve, and this is the pulmonary valve. So how it looks like in the when finally you accusate. So when you accusate the short axis, Spanner's short axis view, the LV should be like that, and the RV should be sitting on the LV. Now, when you accusate the when you turn the probe, so you will get the basal level, and you will get the aortic level, and how it looks like. So if you know what are the basic structures which looks like in the normal views, then you can appreciate that if you just find the abnormal findings. This is the this is the apical four chamber view, and in the apical four chamber view, you place the uh, probe at the fourth intercostal space. You make the position of the patient left lateral, and uh, point the cursor towards the pointer towards the axilla, and then you will have this type of image. And from here you can make from four chambers. You can have the four chambers. You should have the two atria and the ventricle, and you have we sometime you we call is a five chamber when the aorta is coming off from the LV, and when sorry, and we make it more posteriorly. So the aorta, the coronary sinus, we can appreciate the coronary sinus as well. Now, how it looks like in the echo images. So this is the fast tunnel apical four chamber view, the both atria and the ventricles, and how it looks like. This is like, two chamber view, and this is the three-chamber view, which is just, moving the probe position. And again, I'm repeating these things. If we know the normal, we can, easily appreciate the abnormality. This is the subcostal view, which is most difficult one, which we usually, but this is the most beneficial, view. And usually in pediatric practice, we start our study from the subcostal view. Why I'm showing it at the end, I will tell you later. So when we keep the probe at the subxiphistioid area, and we from this view we can achieve many everything and every structure of the heart, and we can take the whole idea of what abnormality is going on, and then we confirm the abnormality by doing the other views. So again, when we keep the probe in the subcostal area, and we what structures we usually identify. So if we put the towards the right side, then you can have the bicable view, and this is the SVC and this is the IVC. When we slightly starting tilting from right to left, the RVT, the right ventricle is coming, and here you can see the whole the RV and the RVOT. You can appreciate the pulmonary valve, and here you can see the short axis, but this is the subcostal view short axis. So similarly, through the subcostal view, you can make the long axis view as well, and you appreciate the interatrial septum as well. So these are the subcostal views, and which when we do, we can through the subcostal. So this is the atrias and the pulmonary vein which is draining into the left atrium. This is the interatrial septum. If you know this is the interatrial septum, then you can identify the problems accordingly. This is LV, and the aorta is coming off, and here is the RV, which I have shown in the previous image. Now this is the suprasternal view. We keep the probe in the suprasternal notch, and through the suprasternal notch, we identify the arch and the relevant structures. And through the putting the probe in the suprasternal notch, not only we identify the arch, but also we identify the superior vena cava, and by modifying the views through the suprasternal area, we can get the branch pulmonary arteries and the pulmonary vein as well. We used to say this is the Crab view, and this is the LA where all the pulmonary veins are draining into it. Now, before moving forward, these are the basic principle for the measurement, and why the ECG placement is necessary, because for identification of the cardiac cycle, we have two basic, diastole and systole, and if we know where is the diastole, where is the systole, then we can measure our we can do the measurement, and we can identify our most bread and butter cases like VSD, direction of the VSD, and the others. So if we just look at the systole, so if you can see in this image, you can see there is the ECG lead is placing, and when you do the post processing, or you are looking at the echo pack, you can just make it pause and scroll, and you can move according to which cardiac cycle is this. So from the mid of the QRS till the T wave is the systole, and then from the end of the T up to the P is the from the QRS, this is the diastole, and these are the diastole phases. I'm not going into detail, but this is very important, and this is also very important. These are the basic principle. Yeah, when to measure what, there we have different valves: tricuspid valve, mitral valve, and pulmonary valve outflows views, like pulmonary valve, aortic valve. So whenever, so basic rule, whenever you have to measure the use the ECG lead, and you open the mitral or tricuspid valve and measure these valves. While if you want to measure the aortic valve and pulmonary valve, you have to measure the systole. So in the systole, because you have to open the valves and then you have to take the measurement, which give you the exact measurement. Okay. Now this is very important. And Z-score, most of you know what is Z-score, but just for your just a refresher, the Z-score is the basic standard deviation, and we place our measurement on the basis of these observed measurement, where our value falls. If it falls, above the two standard deviation of the mean, then it has something, it gives some view. Or if it falls below or negative to the already measured mean, then it has something. If it is more than, more it towards the more than, then it is means k the structures is in dilation, and the bigger the structure is normal, bigger than the normal. If it is lower than the mean, then it means the structure or something, whatever you are measuring, it is smaller than the standard or normal population. So these are the few Z-scores. In our Ecolab, we usually use the Boston Z-score, and every Z-score has its own weakness and strengths. And but unfortunately, these Z-scores are um, measured and developed on different, on their population. This is not a very universal, but we don't have our like LMIC Z scores, so we use these scores. Now this is the important chart, what I have already said. Okay, when you have to measure, how you have to measure, you have to be measured like in systole, on the diastole, and these are the measurements. And you have to be very gentle and very cautious about what you are measuring and where you are measuring, because a slightly off measurement will give you the wrong Z score, and then you can interpret, oh, this is maybe this is uh, bigger than the normal, or this is smaller than the normal. But actually, this is not. This is our misinterpretation. This is the similar. This is the most one of the important tool or like measurement criteria for the assessment of the LV function. There are many other criteria, but this is one of the important which we all usually do in quick assessment. It has its own weaknesses and it has its own strength, but why I have chosen this is because you guys are doing focus and you guys are doing lots of echo for the LV function. So the important thing for the LV function in this, then you have to place the cursor, you have to look at the cursor where you are placing. If you are placing the cursor place is not right, this is towards the apex, then it will it will not give the proper placement and proper area. And if you are using the short axis view, then you have to make the papillary level, and then you have to place the cursor in between and try to whenever you make the M mode, you try to make more clear image in which you should identify, like the interventricular septum properly and the posterior wall. And if you don't make the M mode very clearly, then you can overestimate or underestimate, and this is the weakness of the M mode measurement tool is. So this is very important slide,
The
because
previous one, Dr. Papa, I just wanted to ask that where should we keep the like where should we measure diastole and systole, the points, crest points?
okay,
Because here this is where we go wrong, and we
yeah,
have different mode interpretation of each patient.
okay. So if you just look at this, this is the diastole and here is the systole. Okay, so this is the interventricular septum. You have to place from the maximum diameter from here, and this is the posterior wall, and this is the anterior leaflet of the mitral leaflet. So you don't have to put on the anterior mitral leaflet. You have to place it down till the posterior wall, and this is the pericardium. You don't have to go down towards the pericardium, because if you go down more, then it may possible that the left ventricle and diastolic diameter becomes enlarged, and then and from here it becomes small, then it gives you the high EF. Okay, or if you place if your graph is not clean, it's a little messy, then you may put your cursor little up, or it may give you the a low EF, but which is actually not. So you have to, making your inferences by looking at the qualitatively as well as quantitatively. But you don't have to rely only on the M mode. You have to, use some other measurement. If you are feeling that there is some discrete, like visually you can feel this is, it is mild, or this is a normal, or in the M mode if it is coming of like other way around. So this is very important slides. We know usually in the lectures we used to give and used to tell this is the normal and how it looks like. But when we practically comes and what the normal things, when we have to think it gives the wrong impression, and when we start making the imaging, so our images, the image quality is not good, like, so हम जो स्ट्रगल करते हैं कि जी ये जो हमारे में सही नहीं बन रहा है, और देन वी एम्फेसाइज के नहीं, इमेज को सही होना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो रीडिंग है वो किस तरह से एरोनियस इमेजेस जो है वो बैड इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हैं. इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट this long axis view, what is the problem? Here you can see, if in this view you can see, just you cannot see the apex. Okay, and here if you just look at this short axis view, so do you think this short axis view is accurate, or like what I have already shown? Anyone? So this short axis is not accurate, because we cannot judge, because in short axis not only we see the contractility of the LV, but we also see the septal position, and through the septal positioning we usually describe the RV and PA pressure. But if you just look at this image, this is not accurate, because the RV is not sitting, the septum is not proper, and it looks like this is straight. Maybe it's not straight. This is because of the wrong image acquisition. And similarly here in the four chamber view, if you sometime we take our images are not good, and here you can see the LA is small and the apex is globular, like ball, and actually it should not be. The LV is bullet shape, and it should be like that, because sometime you missed the apical thrombus or apex, and the contractility. So you have to make efforts to make the image properly and how it should be. The other thing is very important here. We usually take the Doppler, and we do not invest time in making inferences, or in making the processing. And here you can see the Doppler image, the reject it here nobody so there are few parameters where you can make the Doppler more clear and crisp and accurate. If it here it is measured like, the TR jet around 104, but if we do proper, like, something, we, make the reject full, decrease the compression, decrease the, like, uh, gain, and then, you make the proper envelope and identify the proper envelope, and then you measure. So by the measurement you can see there's a differences, like, for initially you measure 104, and then, when you make it properly and make it clean, then, you can appreciate these things.
So you mean that we can identify the Nyquist limit by increasing the reject,
Yes,
increasing the compress,
yes,
and
and decreasing the gain.
decreasing the
Yes, decreasing the gain.
and what should be the ideal reject? Like, because if we increase the reject too much, we might decrease the Nyquist limit.
So basically, when we here we can see, if we increase the reject, we are rejecting the all the noise signals. Okay, and we decreasing the compress, then, we are making it more, clear. But decreasing the more complex, it will make more darker. So you have to be, when you are playing with the, Doppler make imaging, then you have to be, like, uh, uh, tweaking uh, uh, as per, need के आपका जो एग्जैक्टली मेजरमेंट है वो ऑफ ना हो, लाइक, आप अंडर एस्टिमेट भी ना कर सकें और ओवर एस्टिमेट भी ना कर सकें. Now this is also important part. We usually, हम जल्दी में कर रहे होते हैं कि बस यहाँ से हमने measurement कर लिया, but, in the machine we have the measurement of small part as well. And if you can see, when we take the measurement, sometime, if it is 4.3, it gives the 5. And if we do the z scoring, usually change. So this is more important if the baby is small and the structure has small size, and if you don't use the small parts, then you can get, different z scores, and that will also different. Now, why does the understanding of the basic echo views and the structures are important? So you have seen, I have walked you through all the basic images. So you know what are the basic images. If you just look, if you have the idea what is the normal, and then you can easily identify what is abnormal. Now, this is not a very, good or clear view, but still you can identify this is the pasternal long axis view, and this is the LA, LV, and here is the interventricular septum. This interventricular septum should be intact. There should not be flow like this. If there is some flow, it means there is something abnormal, and you can identify this is the ventricular septal defect. And in the last view, I showed, some erroneous imaging in which, the apex was cutting. So here you can see there is sometime, apical muscular VSDs. If we do not take properly and do not capture the whole structure, we can miss these things. This is the short axis view, and this is the pulmonary valve, and the flow acceleration can make you easy understand there's something is going on, and then you can identify this is. And this is subcostal view, and this is interatrial septum, the gap and the color which is crossing, it make you easy. This is ASD. And again, this is the four chamber view. There is a gap, and there is मेरे पास भी आ रहा है.
Yeah.
So again, this is the pastern long axis view. You have seen the normal view, and if you just look at this, image, you can feel that there is something abnormal in the mitral valve. And what abnormality in the mitral valve? Restricted motion. Yes. Properly not opening. Yes. So again, in this four-chamber view, this the color flow across the valve, and here again the color flow across the valve will make you easy. So understanding of the basic images are very important. If you know the how the normal LV, contractility is, then you can easily identify that this LV is not, contracting well. And if you are accusing, if you are, as we had the baby last night, and if you are doing some echo like focus, and if you see there is severe LV dysfunction in a neonate, then definitely you have to make think that there may be some, reason, and you try to find out the reason. And if you know there is a severe LV dysfunction, then you can, go to the arch, and you can see there sometime, in severe cough patient, the patient may present with severe LV dysfunction. Similarly, if you know the what is the normal image looks like, so you can easily identify this is not normal, and the atrias are giant atria. There is something going on, and we know that it looks like a restricted cardiomyopathy, and then we have to, move accordingly. So, what is comprehensive echo, and why does it necessary? I wanted to start the lecture with this, but what I decided I will walk you through the basic things. So in the comprehensive echo, this is the recent guidelines. I would recommend कि जी आप लोग जो भी फोकस अभी लर्निंग के कर्व में है, आप लोग ये गाइडलाइंस को यूज करें. और इसमें जो है there are very comprehensively describe and each and every structures. और जो उसकी beauty है वो beauty ये कि they have described what I have described in the three part, but the what view is this, how you have to make the position. You will forget the lecture, but through this guidelines you can learn, go back and learn, and what is the utility, what structures you are looking for. If I start with this, I feel that might it overwhelm you. That's why I just keep it at the end. And this is the the every images. And whenever we talk about like and this is the beauty of our hospitals, we keep the quality up. So the definitely we have the quality metrics of the Ecolab as well. And in the subsequent session, like in the next phase of the session, we will invite Dr. Shazia, and she would present the quality metrics, which she incorporated in our Ecolab as well. And definitely, but just showing this, that the echo is not just the making the image, and there is many things around the imaging world. These are the modalities which we are doing, but not the scope of this lecture. And if somebody asks you what else you are doing along with the 2D image or color Doppler, so in our Ecolab, we are blessed that Dr. Shazia has incorporated all these things, like we are doing the LV strains, RV volume, RV strains, and 3D in the trans thoracic echo, as well as in the transesophageal echo. So these, everything needs explanation and details, and which will we incorporate in the next phase of our educational series. So now this is the most important, part of this session. Like, everybody, how the echo report looks like, and why, the basic understanding of the basic structures are necessary, and why we, started our educational session with the segmental, approach, which, you all have attended by Dr. Babar. and he has make you through the segmental uh, approach. So there are, certain bread and butter cases which we usually deal. So the ASD is one of the most common thing, and how we should interpret the ASD report. So before I go through the report, there are the certain things, we have to understand for the ASD. What are the factors that determine? This is the another detailed lecture which we will arrange again with Dr. Babar, and he usually give this lecture in a very amazing way. And I always, enjoy whenever I listen this lecture. The two important factors which we have to understand: what are the factors determine left to right shunt in ASD, and what are the chambers dilating in the ASD. So the factors that determine the left to right shunt is the RB compliance. Whenever I ask with a medical student, they used to say this is the LA pressure or high. As the LA pressure is high, that determines the shunt direction, but that is not correct. The main factor is the RV compliance, and you will see later in the echo report. And what are the chambers dilating? So there is a left to right shunt. So mostly the blood which is coming into the RA will dilate, the RV will dilate, and the pulmonary artery will dilate. The LA and LV will not dilate. If they are dilating, then we have to make it triggers us to understand what is going on. So this is the echo report of the ASD, and initially at the top there is uh, the conclusion. So with this report, the Zad usually happy कि जी हमारे पास ASD आ गया, deficient rims लिखी हुई है, this is ours. And um, the other thing, you see कि जी ASD में I know कि जो chambers dilation है, क्या ये जो इनकी finding है वो सही है. So yes, the severely dilated right atrium, right ventricle, but you can see the mildly dilated left atrium and left ventricle. So इसमें जब ये चीज लिखी हुई आई तो हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि यार ये क्यों हो रहा है, ये क्यों अचानक से आ गया. इट शुड नॉट बी. द नॉर्मल ASD जो है उसमें आपका RA RV एंड पल्मनरी आर्टरी डायलेट होती है, ये LA क्यों डायलेट हो गया. सो जब भी आपकी बुक में चीजें पढ़ते हैं वो पेशेंट के ऊपर फिक्स नहीं होती. तो यू शुड नॉट बी फिक्सेड with what you are reading. You have to make it interpretable along with the patient to patient. Then you can see यहाँ पर इसकी थोड़ी सी आपको finding दी हुई है. The posterior thickened posterior leaflet is prolapsing and there is mild eccentric jet. Then you want to see, you have to see like ये conclusion में ये चीजें लिखी तो ही है क्योंकि सर्जन ने अपनी नजर से देखना है, इंटेंसिविस्ट है उसने अपनी नजर से देखना है कि जब ये वापस मेरे पास आएगा तो मेरे लिए क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, कहीं ये MR मुझे इस पेशेंट को तंग तो नहीं करेगा. तो उसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखना है. कार्डियोलिस्ट ने इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखना है कि जी मैं इस पेशेंट को डील कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ तो वो किस तरह से बिहेव करेगा. नाउ हाउ इट विल अपीयर इन द इंटरप्रिटेशन. सो जैद जब देखेंगे तो उसमें सबसे पहले तो कंफर्म करेंगे कि ASD का साइज क्या है. ASD सिकंडम है तो वाकई जो डेफिशिएंट लिखी हुई है तो रिम्स कौन सी डेफिशिएंट है कि नहीं है. एंड देन ही हैज टू मेक अ सर्जिकल प्लानिंग. कि सर्जिकल प्लानिंग में जो कैनुलेट करना है, पेशेंट को पंप पे लेके जाना है, तो बाकी सारी चीजें अप्रोप्रिएट है कि नहीं है, किस तरह से अरेंजमेंट इन्होंने करनी होगी. सो दैट्स मेक्स द comprehensiveness of in the echo report and the in the echo imaging. क्यों अगर सिर्फ पेशेंट की डायग्नोसिस सिर्फ इमेजिंग से करना अगर सिर्फ इम्पोर्टेंट या पेशेंट के लिए सेफ होता तो फिर इतनी जो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवनेस और इतनी जो गाइडलाइंस है वो नहीं होती. क्योंकि इस पेशेंट की इमेजिंग जो है उससे जो है वो सर्जन ने भी फायदा उठाना है, उसने इंटेंसिविस्ट ने भी करना है. नाउ देन वी सी देयर इज द RA. वी कंफर्म के RA एरिया जो है डायलेटेड है +13.6, +2 से ज्यादा होगा तो डायलेशन में आएगा. एंड इधर जो है +2.1 यानी बॉर्डर लाइन डायलेशन है. एंड द एंटीरियर द डिस्क्रिप्शन इज देयर. सो इट मैचेस लाइक ये मैच कर रहा है कि इस पेशेंट को सिर्फ एएसडी ही नहीं है, एएसडी के साथ साथ मार्टल वाल्व में भी कहीं प्रॉब्लम है। तो जब सर्जन जब इनको लेके जाएंगे वो थोड़ा सा अलर्ट रहेंगे कि जी यहाँ पर जो उनको क्या पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव फाइंडिंग मिलेंगी या और क्या होंगी। द अदर थिंग विच वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द सर्जन एंड द इंटेंसिविस्ट कि जी अब इसके आरबी प्रेशर एंड पीए प्रेशर्स कैसे हैं, क्योंकि द शंट लीजन इज सो जब एएसडी में जब ब्लड जाता है तो ब्लड के साथ जो प्रेशर जा रहा होता है वो आपका लो वॉल्यूम एरिया का प्रेशर जा रहा होता है। सो जो ब्लड जा रहा होता है वो ब्लड आपके लंग्स वेस्कुलेचर के ऊपर उतना डैमेज कॉज नहीं करता एज कंपेयर टू द अदर शंट लीजन। तो यूजली यू हैव द नॉर्मल आरवी एंड पीए प्रेशर्स जो कि आप इस जगह वेंट्रिकल्स में आरवी एंड पीए प्रेशर डिफरेंट तरीके से मेजर करते हैं, उसको कंफर्म करते हैं एंड देन यू मूव फॉरवर्ड कि जी हाउ दिस इज सेफ फॉर द पेशेंट। सर्जन ने अपने नजर से देख लिया, इंटेंसिविस्ट ने अपनी नजर से देख लिया एंड कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट ने अपनी नजर से देख लिया। और आप लोग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं क्योंकि आप लोग प्री असेसमेंट के तौर पर जब पेशेंट को लेते हैं और डील कर रहे होते हैं तो आप लोग ने पेशेंट के ऊपर जो है वो असेसमेंट बनानी है। सिर्फ यू डोंट हैव टू जस्ट रीड द रिपोर्ट, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड सर्जन की अंडरस्टैंडिंग से भी, कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट के उससे भी, और अपने मैनेजमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी। नाउ दिस इज द अनदर interesting, you know now we have the second case which is ASD again. So cardiac जो cardiology fellow है very happy, yes we got some for the ASD device, but what is this the good or something is weird in this conclusion? What is this? The elevated right atrial pressure, is this the normal? Like something is abnormal. So if we fix ourselves that ASD is ASD और हर एक में ASD एक जैसे ही होगा तो वो फिर जो है प्रॉब्लम करता है। यहाँ पर is written elevated right atrial pressure, it may be possible कि जी हो सकता है टाइपो एरर हो गया और ये लेफ्ट एट्रियल प्रेशर हो, लेकिन लेफ्ट एट्रियल प्रेशर क्यों रेज होगा, क्योंकि इसमें तो लार्ज ASD है। So, but here it is written mild prolapsing anterior mitral leaflet with mild MR, and there is, left to right shunt and moderately dilated RA. Then we confirm in the interpretation, is this right or not? If this is right, and one more important thing, we have to look the baseline, the vitals, which already in the first slide I told you that these are the essential prerequisite for the before you make the imaging, weight, height, age, vitals, ये सारी चीजें क्या है। If you just look at this, the height and weight, the age is around 40, the blood pressure is over higher sides. So this is the middle age person who has ASD, and then the findings will be accordingly and we have to interpret accordingly. If you just look at this, the rims sizes are perfectly normal and this is very appropriate for the device closure. But if you just look at the elevated right atrial pressure and you see there is dilated inferior cava, the respiratory change in dimension is less than 50%, depicting elevated RA pressure. So we have to be, very cautiously in this patient while interpreting and while deciding for the procedure. So again, we will see कि डायस्टोलिक फंक्शन कैसा है, डायस्टोलॉजीज तो नहीं खराब, एंड आरवी एंड पीए प्रेशर्स जो हैं हाउ दे आर। सो व्हेन वी टेक दिस पेशेंट टू द कैथ लैब वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल, और हमने सिर्फ इस माइंडसेट के साथ नहीं जाना होगा कि जी हमने जाना है डिवाइस लगाना है बंद कर देना है। फर्स्ट वी हैव टू इवेलुएट the all these pressures and then we have to see कि जी ये क्या पेशेंट के लिए बेहतर है डिवाइसेबल और डिवाइस से क्लोज करना या उसके लिए बेहतर नहीं है। तो इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द एको इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि एवरीथिंग सिंक्स विद एवरीथिंग, और ये जो है पेशेंट सेफ्टी के लिए बहुत जरूरी है। द थर्ड सिनेरियो इज द VSD which usually this is also the bread and butter case. And again, what are the factors determine the left to right shunt and what are the chambers dilate? So the factors here is the pulmonary vascular resistance. So if the pulmonary vascular resistance is low, then the shunt always the left to right shunt. And if the shunt is left to right, and that is most favorable for, operable and favorable outcomes. So here again, that receive a patient and who has large conoseptal VSD, but again here you can see the weight is 4 kg. So it makes you a little alert, like 4 kg. डॉक्टर तारिक भी जो है वो थोड़े से अलर्ट हो जाएंगे, अच्छा 4 kg है, लार्ज VSD है, कोनोसेप्टल है, एंड ही स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग कि जब ये पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव मेरे पास आएगा तो फिर जो है वो इसके साथ क्या क्या चीजें हो सकती हैं, एंड देन वी हैव टू मेक अलर्ट. So all these, the report is very important. Again, you confirm the finding with the large VSD, and so this AV valve, the mitral valve, is inflow. Doppler is very important. This also help you to understand how the VSD is going towards the operability or not. So the mean inflow velocity is increased. It depicts there is increased QPQS ratio. So increased QPQS ratio, it means that your PVR is low. And also we have to look where is the VSD, what is the extent, and what are the RV and PA pressure. And this is the last scenario, the tetralogy fellow, which is one of the bread and butter case, and in which there are four problems V across. And again, we look at the first component, tetralogy of fellow, and there is multi-level obstruction, large VSD. And what are the different obstructions levels are? These are very important. How the subvalvular area look like, how the valve look like, and how the branch PAs are look like. We don't have to just fixate on one thing कि जी बस obstruction है. So surgeon ने जो है वो किस किस level पे काम करना है, तो उसके लिए आपको separately हर चीज देखनी है. So interatrial septum is also very important in the tetralogy of fellow. You have to look here. And again, here the Z-score of the different valves is very important. कि pulmonary valve का Z-score क्या है, ताकि जो surgical strategy है वो you have to define this. सबवेल्वार एरिया कैसा है कि आपको किस तरह शेव ऑफ करना है, दो ब्रांच पीस हैं उनके साइजेस कैसे हैं कि उसमें जो है आपने मेजरमेंट करनी है, सॉरी उसमें जो है आपने सर्जिकल इंटरवेंशन करनी है कि नहीं करनी. सो समरी, so imaging the patient for the diagnosis, should be comprehensive and should include from, everything from the surgeon point of view, from the patient physician point of view, and from the post management point of view. And if we make it complete, we can save our patient, and we can, make the outcomes of our patient better. Thank you so much.